This interview you're about to watch with Ogi Ifediora was pretty phenomenal. I think it'll add a lot of value when it comes to realizing how Instagram levels the playing fields when it comes to reaching people you highly respect and admire. You'll also be able to hear how much we actually have in common. Turns out our families are very similar, and I'm just really excited about what the future holds for Ogi. So check this interview out, and I hope it encourages you to keep pursuing your. Well, welcome, guys, to another episode of Millennials in Ministry. I'm your host, Erin Lashley, and today I have the privilege and honor of interviewing Ogi Ifediora, who I discovered because I follow PJ Morton on Instagram, and a few months ago, he reposted one of your videos of one of my favorite songs of his, All Right, and I loved it, and I started following you immediately and just liking his stuff, and I'm like, man, she's just so good. I gotta ask her if I can interview her, and lo and behold, we're here today. So thank you for saying yes, Ogi. It's great to have you.
It's nice to be here. Like,
Yeah.
thank you so much. This is that's such a nice thing that you went and reached out to me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're so welcome. Well, I definitely believe in your gift and what you're doing. So first question, I just want to know, tell us a little bit about you, your family, where you're from, and how you grew up and all that.
All right. So I'm originally from a suburb in Madison, Wisconsin called Fitchburg. I was actually born in Schaumburg, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago.
Okay.
But we moved over there when I was about 5 or so years old. I'm second of 4 kids. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah?
Yes. Is it all girls or 2 boys, 2 girls? I come from 2 girls, 2 boys.
Me too. 2 girls, 2 boys. My older
Get
sister
out.
is, I have 1 older sister and 2 younger brothers.
That's
Wow,
me too.
okay. Yeah.
That's crazy. And you know what? I haven't told you this, but I grew up in Illinois. So my parents went to Northwestern,
Oh,
where
whoa.
you go.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
okay.
And I grew up, so I'm familiar with Schaumburg. I lived in Tinley Park. I don't know if you know where that is, or Frankfurt and
Yeah.
all that. Oh my gosh. So that's why I feel like there's so many connections with you, which is really, really cool. But anyways, go ahead. Go ahead.
But yeah, I'm the second of 4. My little brothers are
That's
twins.
cool.
My parents are immigrants. They came to the United States from Nigeria. My dad came
Very cool.
through in about 1978 for school, and then when my mom and my dad got married, my mom came over in the 1990s.
Okay.
So yeah, and that's been a pretty huge part of my upbringing. It's even apparent in my name, Ogi Ifediora. That's my full name.
Wow. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really fun upbringing with my little brothers and my older sister. We're all pretty close in age, and I think that really affected me in being able to kind of take, being teased sometimes, and just because they were essentially my mates, and
Right.
they were some of the first people that I had as audiences whenever I tried to sing.
Yeah.
And their I guess their opinions were very they're very important to me. So I think they had a huge part in curving and sculpting how I sing as well. Yeah,
That's cool. That's really, really cool. So what brought you to Northwestern University? What are you studying? What do you want to do?
Right. So my parents told me for my undergraduate degree, I had to stay within the Midwest. And they, as Nigerian parents are kind of notorious of doing, they're saying it's got to be the big schools, and you have to do either you have to become a lawyer, you have to become an engineer, you have to become a doctor. Those are the 3. Those are
Those are your 3 options.
Yeah. And my dad, who's a professor, and who is very passionate about academics, he encouraged me to do a college preparatory program with Northwestern. And I was able to get into that, and I met some of the nicest people here. This was the summer of my junior year, and I was able to meet really nice people. I met a girl named Maya Armstrong, who's now my roommate. Um, I've just
Wow.
like, and I realized that that was the place that I'd want to kind of cultivate like my sense of like curiosity, um, my
Sure.
ability to just like think critically, because I just found this place to be a very vibrant community of just bright people. And
Yeah,
I just really like the place. So I just
that's really cool. That's awesome. I think it's so random, but actually really cool that you go to Northwestern, where my parents went. And the last time I was in Chicago, because I live in
mhm.
Phoenix, they gave us a tour of like their dorm rooms and everything. And we had dinner in Evanston, and it's such a beautiful area over there. I love it
It
over
is
there.
really nice. What do you remember? What dorms you
Yeah,
went to?
that,
Like,
you know what? I'd have to ask them. I should have asked them before the interview,
okay,
but I wasn't thinking like that. But I'll find out and then I'll message you and let you know because we took like photos by it because it's where they met actually.
oh,
They met at Northwestern.
nice.
Yeah, so it's a big part of our family story because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them meeting in college,
Fair enough.
So yeah, but that's really cool. I'll definitely let you know. But I also want to know just how did you get into singing? I know you mentioned your siblings were really encouraging for you when you were growing up, singing for them. But at what age did you start? And then, what inspired you to kind of get more serious about it?
Yeah. So I've been singing, like I've been encouraged to sing for such a long time. I think one of my earliest memories of doing that was I must have been like 4 or 5 years old. My mom would often take us to prayer meetings, um, because like it was like that was kind of her place to just like sit down and like be with God and just like kind of be in a community of Nigerians because there is not
Sure.
that big of a community in Madison, Wisconsin for Nigerians.
Hmm.
Um, and I remember
I can
they would
imagine.
sing these hymns a lot, and that was one of the first like instances when I've heard of like harmonizing, like people harmonizing with each other. Like there was a song that they had that
Wow.
was just like Holy, holy Lord God Almighty, Alpha, Omega, beginning and the end.
Hmm.
And it
Love it.
always that song like always stuck with me, and I would just sing it around the house to the point that like my parents would just kind of get a little like it was too much at some point. But
Yeah.
that was like one of my earliest like memories of just like engaging with music and trying to just like I don't know,
Cool.
be creative with it. Um,
Yeah.
throughout like elementary school, I was kind of known as like the singer, but kind of an obnoxious singer. Like
Hmm.
I would just sing everywhere that I had the opportunity to. Um, and that was a point when like my older sister and my little brothers were kind of like, oh, okay, it's time to stop. I remember this one time my older sister was like, OG, you're not as good as you think you are. Like you gotta relax.
Really?
Yeah. It got to a point where it was just, I was singing like every day and it just got on people's nerves. Um, and I remember like for a while I tried to calm down because I kind of reflected and said, oh wow, I really am singing like in people's ears like
Mm.
every day. Um,
Yeah.
so I stopped doing that for throughout middle school. Um, it was only until like junior year that my music teacher or my orchestra teacher he encouraged me to audition for this jazz choir that was going on in my high school. And
Hmm.
I auditioned, and the jazz director was like, "Wow, what have you been doing this entire time?" So that's kind
Wow.
of when I kind of went back into singing. Once I got into Northwestern, I joined this a cappella group called Funk Acapella. It's the oldest a cappella group at
Okay.
Northwestern. Um,
That's cool.
and um, I found a really cool just community of people who just like love to sing, and it encouraged me to
Hmm.
try and hone in uh, on my voice a lot more. Like I started kind of getting into the gospel songs that I used to listen to and try to mimic the riffs
Yeah.
that they did. Um,
Hmm.
and that's when I got into learning how to do arrangements with my voice or with the voice of other
Hmm.
people in the a cappella group. And yeah, it kind of took off from there. And to here we are.
Yeah, that's really cool. And, I know quite a few artistic people, and I know some people who, are gifted artistically, they don't necessarily feel comfortable with posting things on Instagram, and others do. And I noticed with your Instagram feed, you're very intentional. Like you have the song, you tag the certain people, you got the hashtags going, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think that had a lot to do with PJ reposting your video. But what have you always thought like that with Instagram? Like, have you always thought to be very intentional with hashtags and tagging, or did it just on a whim you just posted it?
No, yeah, I'm not very. I mean, like that Instagram page is like very young. I think I started it in August of this year. Um,
Yeah. Wow.
I've been mostly on Facebook for like since like seventh grade, and when I was talking to my
Mm-hmm.
little brothers about it, they would like laugh at me because they're what 19 years old. They don't have any Facebook accounts. Like they're saying we're like only for
Uh-huh.
30, 40 year olds. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I eventually got onto Instagram because I kind of recognized it as a it levels out the playing field a little bit. Like everyone can like
Mhm.
access anyone on it just through like
Yeah.
tagging them in it or doing a hashtag. And I thought that was a really cool
Yeah.
uh, thing. So I just wanted to see if I could just like post things that I love to do and see like who would respond to it. Um,
Yeah.
and I just happened to like I never really assumed that people would like do anything else but like it. So I just kind of added
Sure.
PJ just to say like why not see if he likes it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but then yeah, things
That's so
happened
cool.
after that.
So how did it encourage you when he actually reposted it and you got so much love, and so many people encouraging you and your gift, like, wow, you have such an amazing voice. What did that do for you?
It was really validating. Actually, like a month before I posted that video, I was studying for the LSAT. Um, like
Mm,
I was pursuing that path of like being a lawyer that like my parents kind of
yeah.
instilled in me from like a pretty young age. Um,
Hmm.
and after that, I had actually talked to my parents, and because other people had started to like reach out to me as well, and so I contacted
Yeah.
my parents and was kind of saying, maybe a music path may not be uh too wild of an idea. And so I was able
Yeah.
to kind of get them to agree to me taking a year off from school, like after I graduate,
Wow.
um, to pursue
And when
music.
do you graduate?
I graduate in June of this year. Hmm.
Wow. That's amazing. So are you currently then in your year off, just focusing on music?
Yeah,
Or is that next year?
that'd be the hope. Yeah, I would try to get like a good like stable job so I could support myself,
Yeah.
and then in any
Yeah.
time that I have, I would just try to like network and have connections and work on my music. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, that would be the
That's
plan.
awesome. Congratulations too on your first show. If I was in Chicago, I would have totally been there. But how was that? What was that like for
It
you?
was really fun. It was fun because I was able to do it with a friend that I had garnered from being in a band 2 years ago. Julius
Hmm.
Tucker, who's the best piano player that I've ever met in my life.
Wow.
He graduated from Northwestern 2 years ago, um, and I was able to get him to be my accompanist, and we were able to sing like an original that I had done, and we were able to sing a few covers. Um, we sang "How Deep Is Your Love" like PJ Morton's version of it.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
it was a
cool.
good time.
That's awesome.
So
So what's next for you in your musical career? I know you posted about some original music. Is there certain dates for that to be released or anything that we can look forward to?
I'm gonna try and work on things whenever I have the time to. It's kind of
Yeah, yeah.
rough being able to or trying to kind of balance doing schoolwork and trying to get as best a grade as I can and like pursuing this music.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
but I'm working diligently. I'm trying my best, and I'll try to get stuff out on a SoundCloud like, really
Yeah.
soon. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's gonna be the next step, like going from Instagram to maybe like other platforms like SoundCloud or YouTube. Yeah, I'm
That's
trying to
great.
expand.
That's so awesome. Do you have, how did you get that show? Was that just something you wanted to do, or was there an opportunity that opened up and you were just like, yeah, I'll take that
Yeah,
show?
yeah, it was a connection from a friend of mine that I had made freshman year
Okay.
named Rick Wallace. He's a really cool guy. And he was having this ball for his fraternity, and he was able to get that. He was able to book the Hyatt Hotel in Chicago. Um,
Wow.
and so he asked me to be a musical guest, and I said, yeah. And yeah,
That's
it was a
great.
really fun show. It was with a lot of people that I really respected. A lot of my friends were there, a lot of
Yeah.
support. It was a really good experience.
That's really cool, OG. Congratulations with that too, and all the steps you're taking. And I know it's a big deal to, have that direction kind of decided for you by your parents in one direction, but then to, you know, decide to move into a different direction after you finish graduating. And I know that a lot of people will hear this and be inspired by you taking a bold step to pursue your dreams and just see where the wind takes you, which is a big deal. But I want to ask you, there's a lot of people listening that want to make an impact in the community that they're living in. What's one piece of advice that you would give to them if they want to make an impact?
Well, I mean, I think that message is very pertinent to the day before elections. Um, so,
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that I think about, like off the top of my head, is just voting. Just making your
Yeah,
voice heard. The stakes are pretty high this midterm election, so we can't afford to get
absolutely.
any ideas. Um, on in a more like, I guess like day to day kind of level thing, I'd assume just like keeping a constant ear to the ground, seeing if there are like opportunities where people are in. I guess just like look. What am I trying to say? I want to make sure that I say this
I'll
right,
take you through.
but
Yeah, I hear you.
I think just yeah, just keeping a constant ear to the ground, um,
Hmm.
by just seeing it, just actively looking for opportunities to help people. Um,
Yeah.
that's really important because there are so many people um, in our communities, like especially in Chicago or in Evanston, where I'm like
Hmm.
where I am right now, where people are just like
Yeah.
there are like flyers everywhere. There are like polls and invitations everywhere for going to like a food pantry
Yeah.
or like volunteering
Yeah.
at a local shelter or doing work with a nonprofit. I mean, the opportunities are
Mhm.
out there and they're trying to like present themselves to anyone who's willing to like pay attention. So I think it really is just a
Absolutely.
matter of looking around,
Hmm.
because there will always
Yep.
be
And being
people
aware.
who will appreciate your help.
That's really good. That's really good, OG. I think it's important, like you said, to pay attention because you can't see anything you're not looking for. If your eyes aren't fixated in that direction, you're never going to see it when it comes up. So I totally agree that you have to be looking in order to spot the opportunities as they
Mhm.
come. But I know that people want to stay in touch with you. What's the best way for them to do that if they want to follow you and your story, how you're doing with school, when you graduate, what you're doing next, and all of
Mhm.
that?
I mean, I think Instagram is probably the best platform of doing that right now. Um, like
Okay.
I said earlier on, I will be trying to expand onto different platforms um, in the near future. But I think for now, the best option is going through Instagram. I really do try to reply to any messages that come my way because I really do appreciate the support. Um, so if
Yeah.
you want to talk, just send me a message. I'm here.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, OG, for your time. I really genuinely do believe in you and your gift and what you're doing. And I really, really genuinely believe that your future is very bright and there's so much that's going to be happening for you. And I'm proud of you. I'm cheering you on. And you just go, girl, because you're killing it. You just go, you know? So thank you to everyone that's joined. Want to give a few shout outs. Miles Minnick, thanks for joining us. Emily, Fat Chance, all these random people. I'm sure they're friends of you, my sister. Thank you guys for just being on the live show, and we'll talk to you soon, OG.
Thank you.